yang meninggal dunia. Namun tadi malam disampaikan oleh Gubernur Jawa Timur Khofifah Indar Parawansa bahwa jumlah korban kemudian bertambah menjadi 131 orang. Tambahan untuk jumlah korban meninggal dunia ini, saudara, ini berasal dari keterangan dari anggota keluarga yang sebelumnya sempat melakukan penjemputan jenazah secara langsung dan juga mandiri. Jadi keluarga dari korban yang meninggal dunia ini langsung menjemput jenazah tanpa memberikan konfirmasi kepada pemerintah, sehingga dalam pendataan sebelumnya ini terdapat selisih data, yaitu 125, saat ini menjadi 131. Dan setelah didata secara keseluruhan, sampai dengan sore hari ini, jumlah korban meninggal dunia ini adalah 131 orang. Jumlah korban meninggal dunia yang paling banyak ini tercatat dari kota Malang. Itu sebabnya ini juga kemudian menjadi perhatian yang bukan hanya dari lokal, nasional, bahkan ini juga dunia internasional, bahwa tragedi ini bisa merenggut hingga 100 lebih jiwa meninggal dunia akibat insiden ini. Saudara, yang dapat kami saksikan, yang Anda saksikan saat ini di layar kaca, ini adalah aktivitas kami, tim media, yang saat ini juga masih menanti bagaimana setelah Presiden Jokowi kemudian melakukan peninjauan langsung di dalam arena Stadion Kanjuruhan Malang. Karena tadi juga sempat disampaikan bahwa tujuan dari Presiden Jokowi ke Stadion Kota Malang, Stadion Kanjuruhan maksud kami, Stadion Kanjuruhan Kabupaten Malang, ini adalah untuk melakukan peninjauan langsung ke lokasi-lokasi pintu-pintu keluar, lalu juga kemudian tribun, di mana sebelumnya ini juga menjadi lokasi awal dari kejadian ini, yang kemudian merenggut hingga ratusan orang korban. Sebelumnya juga kalau kita melihat bagaimana situasi sebelumnya, saudara, bahwa pada tanggal 1 Oktober ini terjadi banyak sekali korban jiwa, tragedi kemanusiaan yang banyak sekali merenggut korban jiwa. Ada 131 orang hingga saat ini dinyatakan meninggal dunia. Setelah sebelumnya ada insiden, yaitu pertandingan sepak bola Arema FC melawan Persebaya, di mana dari pertandingan ini supporter atau pendukung yang diperbolehkan masuk hanya pendukung dari tim tuan rumah, yaitu Arema FC. Nah, pada saat itu pertandingan kemudian berlangsung dengan skor Arema FC kalah, sehingga kemudian memicu penonton untuk kemudian sempat ada beberapa yang kami saksikan di layar monitor, yang video-video yang juga kemudian tersebar. Penonton ini juga kemudian sempat turun ke lapangan, lalu juga kemudian dilakukan sejumlah upaya-upaya pengamanan. Jadi inilah upaya pengamanan ini juga tadi ada beberapa poin yang juga kemudian disayangkan oleh sejumlah pihak dari insiden ini. Yang pertama ini adalah mengapa gas air mata ini kemudian disemprotkan ke lokasi tribun atau tempat duduk dari para penonton. Yang paling parah itu adalah di lokasi pintu ke-13 di Stadion Kanjuruhan Malang. Lalu juga kemudian yang disayangkan juga dari peristiwa ini oleh sejumlah pihak, yaitu adalah pintu di
Kika.
Oke, kita dengar bersama saudara bagaimana pernyataan dari Presiden Jokowi.
Saya datang ke Stadion Kanjuruhan di Kabupaten Malang untuk mendapatkan gambaran lapangan tentang peristiwa yang kedua. Kita tahu masih bentuk tim gabungan independen mencari fakta yang diketuai oleh Pak Menko Polhukam, dan kita harapkan nantinya tim ini segera bisa menyelesaikan tugasnya sehingga kita tahu betul-betul penyebab utama dari tragedi tanggal 1 Oktober di Stadion Kanjuruhan Malang. Yang ketiga, saya sudah bangunan stadion ini termasuk bangunan terhadap seluruh stadion yang dipakai dalam baik Liga 1, Liga 2, maupun Liga 3. untuk memperbaiki baik yang pintu gerbang, kemudian posisi duduk, pagar, dan lain-lainnya, sehingga keselamatan penonton, keselamatan supporter itulah yang ingin kita utamakan. Saya rasa itu yang ingin saya sampaikan. Itu nanti tim gabungan independen pencari fakta yang harus melihat secara detail. Tapi sebagai gambaran tadi saya melihat bahwa problemnya ada di pintu yang terkunci dan juga tangga yang terlalu tajam. Ditambah kepanikan yang ada. Itu saya hanya melihat nanti semuanya akan disimpulkan oleh tim gabungan independen. Lagi yang paling penting nanti seluruh bangunan stadion akan diambil oleh Kementerian PU. Ya. Kalau tim gabungan independen itu 1 bulan kita minta secepatnya 1 bulan. Kalau untuk audit stadion juga sama 1 bulan juga. Karena kalau kita lihat di GBK dengan penonton 80.000 orang dibuka 15 menit semuanya sama. Saya kira standar itu yang harus kita miliki. Dan pada saat saya berbicara hari Senin pun dengan Presiden FIFA, yakni Infantino, beliau menyampaikan FIFA siap untuk membantu memperbaiki manajemen yang ada. Saya kira memang kita perlu evaluasi total semuanya, baik manajemen pertandingan, manajemen stadion, manajemen penonton, manajemen waktu, manajemen pengamanan, semuanya harus dievaluasi total. Dan peristiwa yang terjadi di Stadion Kanjuruhan ini tidak terjadi lagi.
All right, everybody, welcome to Sunday, both the end of the week and the start of the week at exactly the same time.
Yeah, we're going to do a great VC Sunday School on how investors should decide to sell in secondary when they have the opportunity to sell some shares. Molly wanted to know, hey, how do you make that decision? We break it down and how fund managers think about pairing their positions in private transactions.
And then we have a great This Week in Climate Startups that combines two of my favorite things, influencing consumer behavior and financial tools. I'm interviewing the CEO of a company called Future.Green, Jean-Louis Warnholtz. Future offers a debit card that gives 5% cash back on climate-friendly purchases. It is just simple, elegant, beautiful, changes behavior significantly, and is just a really interesting idea for a startup. It's going to be a great show.
Stick with us.
This Week in Startups is brought to you by Embroker's Startup Insurance Program helps startups secure the most important types of insurance at a lower cost and with less hassle. Save up to 20% off of traditional insurance today at embroker.com/twist. While you're there, get an extra 10% off using offer code TWIST. OpenPhone. As a startup founder, a lot of mistakes are easy to roll back, but using your personal cell phone number as your company number isn't one of them. OpenPhone makes it easy to get business phone numbers for you and your team, right on top of your existing devices. Visit openphone.com/twist to get 20% off your first 6 months. And Harmonic. Need to speed up your growth without speeding up your burn? Harmonic gives investment, sourcing, and sales teams data superpowers. Learn how A16Z, Craft, Notion, Brex, and many more source better leads and qualify them faster. Get $4,000 off at harmonic.ai/twist.
All right, everybody, it is Sunday. Happy Sunday.
Sunday.
Hope you're having a nice cup of coffee. Maybe you get one of those bagels. I don't mind. I'll take a fresh bagel, an egg bagel. I'll take a sesame bagel.
Some
I'll
boy
take a
chick
poppy
bagel.
seed. Boy chick bagel's delicious.
Boy
here in
chick
Berkeley.
bagel. So good.
I'll take a fresh bagel. I'll toast it. I know some people don't like that. I'll have it with toast, without toast. I'll put butter and cream cheese on it. How about that? That's how my grandma, God rest her soul, used to make it. She'd give you put a little bit of butter on the bottom, then she put the cream cheese on, and then my grandmother, God rest her soul, she would take her hand and she would smash that bagel for you, cut it in half. Yeah, she was great. Also, my grandmother, when we were 5 or 6 or 7 years old, we'd be walking down the street, we have something on our face. She would take out her handkerchief. She'd go and spit on it and clean our face. That was the Irish.
Not everything that grandmas do is great.
It was a different era. It was a different
era. Where
like,
a lot more germs.
Clean our
A lot more
face.
germs.
No, that made you stronger. Why do you think I have such a great immune system? I'm unstoppable.
That's true.
All right, Molly, you had a question this week.
I do.
Yeah.
I do have a question this week for BC Sunday School.
Okay.
How to decide. I do not anticipate being in this position anytime soon, although I do anticipate being in this position on my road to becoming the greatest climate investor ever.
Let's go.
Boom. How do you decide when to, as a fund, sell a position and take out some money, basically, to return to your investors?
Sure. So if you're an early stage investor in a hot market like we've just had for 2020 and 2021, there might be people investing in a private company who say, hey, this company is now worth $1 billion. We would like to invest $50 million. Founder says, great. I'll sell you 5% of the company. Say, hey, you know what? We kind of want to get to more like 7 or 8 or 9 or 10% ownership. Founder says, you know what? We don't need any more than the 50 million. However, here are some employees and here are some early angel investors and seed funds who might want to buy secondary shares. They call this a secondary offering. And so you remember SoftBank came in, they invested in Uber, and then Masayoshi-san made an offer. It's called a tender offer to shareholders. I was lucky enough to take advantage of that. In fact, I think the price he bought shares for might have been $32, $33 a share. Maybe that was 6 years ago, 5, 6 years ago. It's higher than Uber is trading for right now, today. I think it'll come right back up and go past that. But that was a good trade. I made that trade. And we've seen that trade happen with other companies that are in our portfolio. This came up because we were doing a Launch 4 fundraise webinar. We did 3 in the last 3 weeks and had an amazing 2,000 people signed up for these webinars. Isn't that crazy?
So awesome.
Yeah. And over $25 million in commitments already. And we haven't even sent follow-up emails. So brave new world right now for us as a firm doing this public raise. But people did have a lot of questions. Hey, how do you decide when to sell? All right. Well, first off, you don't have the opportunity to sell every time. This isn't like a public stock market. So these opportunities come along very rarely. When they do come along, I like to take advantage of them as an early stage seed investor. And I go through a very simple lens here. If people want to buy the shares in the company and they're paying a great price for them, then why wouldn't we put a floor into our investment, lock it a win, and sell 10 or 20%? Because if we sell 20%, you have 80% of your shares still in play. You sold 20%. So let's say it's a $100 million position you have, just to pick a random number. Okay, you sold 20 million of that position. Great, you locked in that win. Let's say that cost you originally, $500,000 to own this, $100 million sleeve of equity. Now you've sold 20% for 20 million, 500,000. You got a 40x return. This is an incredible cash on cash investment, but you still have 80% left over. Now, if that 80% goes 5x, right? Okay, 5x for that 80 million, it becomes worth 400 million. Okay, you missed out on that 4x, for the 20 million you sold, or that 5x. You left a little bit of money on the table. But when you look at it overall, it's not that big of a, that big of a concession or a loss because you also get to put that money back to work, right? So it's not like you get that money and you can't place more bets. If you're a smart investor, if I sold that 20 million and I booked 19.5 million in profits for my LPs, they got the cash back. Okay, now I got my fund over the hurdle. We've returned let's say it was a $10 million fund, you returned 20 million. Okay, now you've returned everybody 2x their initial investment.